and action. Hello, and welcome to another episode of All or Nada According to Jack. As you can see behind me, we have Mr. Ian Anderson rocking his heavy metal instrument, the flute. Yes, and today we have a great topic to talk about. So just to give you a little background, last spring, Pete Pardo on Sea of Tranquility for the month of April, I believe it was, he ran a series every day of dream set lists. So Pete was very kind to ask me if I wanted to do a dream set list with him of all things Jethro Tull. And you know what? It was one of my favorite projects that I worked on with Pete. I was able to really show my creative side and let the world know what my perfect dream set list would be of Jethro Tull. So while I was doing that, another person out there was putting together his dream set list in another form. And I got to give him major kudos for this. His name is Steve Buckley, and he put together he made a movie and he called it the Tull Phenomenon. And basically, as you're going to see, what it is he basically takes a bunch of concert audio, puts it together. I believe he used mainly concert audio from Madison Square Garden in Madison Square Garden in New York City in fall of 1978. He, in addition to that, he added some audio from the Switzerland concert in May of '78, Landover, Maryland, 1977, Paris, France, July '75, Seattle, Washington, April of '79, and some footage from the Netherlands in March of 1980. So on top of that, what he did was first he put this audio together to make it sound like one continuous concert. And we're going to get into the set list for this movie that we call the Tull Phenomenon. What he then did, on top of the audio, he interspersed different scenes of different concerts, and he tried to marry the Ian's vocals to each song as meticulously as possible. And what he did was he tried to showcase some of the other members of Jethro Tull, because we all know Ian runs the show. And if you watch some of these videos, I think it shows Ian a little too much. We love him, but we also love the other guys over the years, like, Martin Bear, and there's Barrymore Barlow, the drummer. There was Jeffrey Hammond. There was, what's his name? John Glasscock, the bassist, who tragically passed away in late '79. So there was Clyde Bunker, Glenn Cornick, John Evan, David now D. Palmer, some great talented performers over the years that, Ian couldn't have done it alone. We all know that he needed these guys to really help make this band as great as it was. So Steve does a great job of showcasing all of these, this great talent. So let's get into it. So basically, I was actually listening to this, and taking some notes as I was doing my taxes on Saturday. So I think everybody on Facebook got a little bit of a kick out of that. But you know what? I hate doing the taxes. It freaking sucks. It took me about 3 hours, but thank God for TurboTax, and thank God for Jethro Tull, because you know what? Kept me from going insane. So move forward. So we're going to go through the format. So it starts out as a commercial for the Bursting Out Live album, which was released in '78, I believe. Then there's a little shot on the screen that talks about 3 October concerts at Madison Square Garden. Damn, I wish I had seen at least one of those shows. I would see them in October of '79 at Nassau Coliseum for the very first time during the Stormwatch tour. But I would have liked to have seen some of these songs that were performed, but we're going to go through them. So after they took, that little snippet commercial talks about the 3 concerts at MSG. There were scenes from Passion Play. You see the hare who lost its spectacles, and you see John Evan having a little fun. It's the coolest thing. Then you see the ballerina from Passion Play. Then you see Ian Anderson in one of his amazing outfits. I think one of his country squire outfits. I believe it was for the Heavy Horses tour. It's like a nice plaid, cloak that he's wearing with the Scottish hat. So anyway, let's see. They show them backstage walking towards the concert. All the fanfare as they're being introduced. They open the show with "Sweet Dream," great song, one of those singles that eventually made its way onto "Living in the Past." So some of the outfits that you see the minstrel in the gallery era codpiece, blue jumpsuit or blue outfit. Nice to see John Glasscock. You see Dee Palmer playing his portative pipe organ, great instrument, wonderful, wonderful. Nice sound to the sound quality that it adds to the songs that he uses it for. Okay, so next song, "Skating Away on the Thin Ice of the New Day," off of War Child, wearing what looked like his jumpsuit from the late '80s. I think it might have been the Rock Island tour. I saw that tour, by the way. Then I saw, his Under Wraps outfit. Not a huge fan of that, that era, that album. But he's got this headband that's got the Under Wraps logo on it. Again, you see him wearing his country squire era red derby, from the songs from the Wood tour. Next goes into "Jack in the Green," off of Songs from the Wood. This time it looks like he's wearing his broadsword era outfit. Again, he's wearing his country squire outfit. Martin's playing the mandolin. Then you see a later lineup playing. Then they go early in the concert, so I was a little surprised. They go into "Thick as a Brick." I know Steve kind of rearranged these songs a little, and made it sound like one continuous concert. Really good job, Steve. So "Thick as a Brick," basically editions 1 through 4, 10 to 13-minute version. We get treated to the zebra suit from Jeffrey Hammond, John Glasscock again. What else do we see? It looks like the "Thick as a Brick 2" tour for the first time, where Ian's a little older and he's wearing, a do-rag to kind of hide his, his receding hairline, loss of hair. Again, you see the Broadsword tour. Then you see that blue codpiece uniform, which looks like that got extracted from the introduction to what they call television. Basically, when they played the stadiums back in the Minstrel and the Too Old to Rock and Roll tour, they had these screens, and they were very innovative. They, they was very new at that time, so that you can see him better. But again, it's mostly Ian. Moving right along, they go into "Heavy Horses," great song. They show it from the A tour. You can see the A jumpsuits. It's got the letter A on the jumpsuits. Then, of course, you see, the typical country squire plaid outfit that he would have wore on that tour. Okay, so then he goes into a little medley, starts with My God. Then he plays God Rest Ye Gentlemen, like he always did, which would entice him to add it to the Christmas CD many years later. Oh, by the way, I'll get to this in about a minute, but let me finish the song. Then he goes into a version of Beret and Kelpie. This time, they show some snippets from the Isle of Wight concert back in 1970, where he's wearing that old overcoat that's plaid again. Current time, older Ian with the head cover. I saw them play it on stage in 2008, so it looked like there was some footage there. Finally, they show Glenn Cornick from behind playing a little bit. Then what they do is they show some very intense close-ups of Ian. You can see the sweat on his face as he's doing his flute solo improvisation. So glad I remembered this as I was talking. I wanted to put this up on the screen for everybody to see. Let's find it. Where is it? There it is. Put this up for Steve Buckley's benefit. Really great job. This clocks in at about an hour, 40 minutes. So then next, after that, they go into instrumental of A New Day Yesterday and Living in the Past. I don't believe there's any vocals on that. You see some outfits from 1976 again. Next, they go into, they start very similar to what they did in the concert I saw in 79. They start Songs from the Wood in about the middle of the song. They started it, before they go into their instrumentals. So then they come back and you got all the lead, the background vocals. And rumor has it that they were actually miming, not really singing. So you saw Dee Palmer, you saw John Evans singing. You saw first it was John Glasscock, and then when he was not well enough to perform, they brought in Tony Williams to replace him on as a bass player on stage. So he gave some backup vocals. Of course, behind in that little thing, that little pirouette in the beginning, do 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 do. While Ian's playing the acoustic guitar, they actually have Barrymore Barlow standing up and miming that he's playing the flute. That was a pretty cool spot. Of course, I'm sure they piped that in. So yeah, so it's Songs from the Wood. So then, kind of surprised me a little bit. They played Dark Ages, and I did ask Steve why it was included in the set list, as this appears to be a mid to late 70s set list. But Steve tells me that they played it, they introduced the song early in 79 in Seattle, while I believe they were still doing the Bursting Out tour, which was pretty cool. So basically it was the Stormwatch, Heavy Horses, and Broadsword outfits that Ian was wearing. Next, they played an old favorite of mine, Hunting Girl, off of Songs from the Wood. That was weird to see him playing Hunting Girl in their under wraps garb. Then, of course, there was his country squire garb with the red derby. Too Old to Rock and Roll, Too Young to Die, title track from that album from 1975 or 6, I believe it was. So they had a TV special with Too Old to Rock and Roll and a few other songs in the UK. I don't think it ever saw the light of day in the US, but Steve plucked some of the footage from that 1975 TV special. Then there was, again, more under wraps garb. Biker, this was a funny scene. So you have this tough looking biker looking guy who's sitting there clapping his hands and swaying to the music during Cool to Rock and Roll. That was pretty cool. Then Dee Palmer playing sax, which was nice. Okay, so then we go to another favorite of mine, the title track to Minstrel in the Gallery. I think, and so you see Jeffrey Hammond's zebra outfit and matching zebra bass once again. You see Martin Baer do that killer lead intro. And he got a rare songwriting credit for the song even. So he co-wrote it with Ian Anderson. I'm sure he had a lot of involvement, not only in that song, but several others in that album. Like Cold Winter Valhalla, what's the next? Black Satin Dancer, killer riffs and lead guitar. I'm sure he had more involvement with that as well. Okay, so concert's winding down. I think it was this song that he starts playing the flute. The Pop Goes the Weasel, do 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 do, and then there's like a strobe effect, and then it goes right into Cross-Eyed Mary. Various tours are shown again with the outfits. So then, they say goodnight. They come back, and Martin Baer leads him with about the 2-minute song Quatrain, it's called, which leads right into Aqualung. They show, all different periods, 90s to 2000s. Nice collage of Ian, mini collage of Martin during Aqualung. A little multiple shots of Ian playing at the same time. So then, very last song, they do Locomotive Breath, Dam Busters March, and then they do a jam at the end. And John Evan enters first for Locomotive Breath. That silly, clowny wave to the crowd. Then he goes over to the piano and starts his do 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 do. So good set, really good set. The beauty of this all, Steve. I'm sorry. I forgot his name. What is the matter with me? Steve Buckley. He did this. He said it took him about 2 years to do this. This was not for profit. This was done just solely to share with all Tull fans around the world. So, kudos to you, Steve. What an amazing, amazing job you did here. So I think we talked about the set list is, mainly from Heavy Horses, Bursting Out, and Dark Ages, early 79 primarily. So basically, Steve, and these are just a few little fun facts that I'm going to add as we wrap this up. The original concept was about 20 years ago. Unfortunately, he didn't really have all the good footage to use, but thankfully, times being what they are now, by say 2019, he had enough good quality footage that he was able to intersperse into these songs. So, and as I mentioned, he gave other band members more camera time. Audio was brought together to sound like a single concert. Then Steve told me in a text, he IM'd me to tell me some of the things he did to enhance the picture quality, but surprise, I am going to bring I'm planning on bringing Steve Buckley to the show to talk about it. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to give you the link to the concert, give you maybe a few weeks to watch it. You can ask any questions you want. I'll answer, any questions in the comment section. I'm sure Steve will as well. And then I'd like to bring him back to talk about this concert because, again, he knocked it out of the park. This is the first review that I'm going to give a full 5 stars out of 5 to. Really, really great job. So this is Jack Toledano, all or nada, according to Jack. The site's growing. Please keep it growing. If you like the content, please subscribe. I would love it if you did. Please keep watching my videos. I do take constructive criticism. So if you have any ideas or think of ways I can make it better, I would absolutely love that. So with that, I will bid you a fond farewell for the evening. Thank you very much. And like I said, I will put the link to this video up. It is a Vimeo video. So go over there, enjoy, block off an hour, 40 minutes, have a nice cup of wine, wine and cheese party with your friends who are all into Jethro Tull fans. Maybe a hot cocoa since it's still pretty cold out. Or you want another cup of tea, dear? Or that. But in any event, I'm babbling, so I better sign myself off. Good night, everybody. Have a good one.